What's going on, the Copywriting Call podcast? It's your boy Loso 2.0, the copy god himself. And today, we're gonna talk about basically children. It's kind of like training, but it's a lot that goes into that, honestly. This episode's a little bit different, right? For one, don't bit on my hair because I just woke up. I didn't get a chance to brush it. And I feel like I got a little tickle in my throat. It's not COVID. But just know that I do got a little tickle in my throat this morning. So bear with me, okay? So I was discussing about how children make more progress than teenagers. And why that is, right? I was talking to somebody, they were kind of talking about the idea that it's like, how do I explain this? It's my fault. Children make more progress than teenagers because they were talking about the idea that it's genetics and all this stuff like that and things like that, but it's not genetics really. To an extent, it really is having to do with our conditioning of our mind, right? If you were like me, you were probably a late blooming athlete, right? You played in sports in high school. Is when you really started playing on teams. You really wasn't really into sports that much before. Prior then, you probably played it just to be at the park, have fun, but you wasn't like playing organized sports or anything like that. Because I know honestly, my mom wasn't affording it, couldn't afford it, nothing like that. Yeah, so that I know that was with me, and I really wasn't taking sports seriously at a young age. Honestly, like younger, I was just straight playing video games. I was big into like Pokemon, still am. I was playing video games all day, every day. That's all I was into. That's all I knew, right? And then I got into sports kind of in high school, and that's when I started opening up my social shell a little bit. Because I was actually shy too before everybody started. I started making friends, started being nice, stuff like that. It was fun. But yeah, children though, they learn faster. Because me, like for example, with me, right, my trainer, we was talking about this. My trainer, right, he trained me when I was in high school. Like he got me when I was going from 10th to 11th grade. Whenever he trains you, he said he guarantees you make varsity next year. And that was true. Like when he trained me, I made varsity the next year, although I sat the bench I made JV first, started JV, and then I sat the bench on varsity the entire year, did not play a game. And well, not the entire year, towards the playoffs. And it was because of my confidence. Then the following year, I also varsity as well, but I just sat the bench the entire year. I played in some games and stuff like that. But the thing is this, I wanted to blame the coach. I started blaming the coach. I started blaming everybody else. And now looking back on it, you kind of realize that you had a part to play in that as well. You control your destiny because you can control what happens. You control everything that happens in your life. And I did not control that. I didn't seek control for that. So all I did was continue to blame the coach, giving him way too much power. Like, oh no, the coach doesn't like me. I do this, I do that. Because at the end of the day, so what if he didn't like me? So what if he didn't do certain things? The coach still played other people that he did not like because he had no choice but to play them because they were so good or they were so aggressive, so much skill that it forced him to do that. But I kept blaming him to do that. But it has to do with confidence. Sports, I promise you, I guarantee was like 80% confidence and 80% like your mindset, and only like 20% is literally like your skill. Majority of it has to come with your confidence. The more aggressive people are, the better you look. Majority of the time, when you're more aggressive, you look better when you're more aggressive. It really is like that. And how do you teach this aggression? Now, the aggression is a very hard thing to teach. You really can't do it. Really is like a switch you just gotta put on one time. Like I think last time I put that switch on was like, all right, it's like you have to make that acceptance. Like me, I still struggle with it sometimes, right? Where I'm just like, I was at the gym. I keep going to the gym. I was going to the gym recently and realized I wasn't playing as hard. Then I was like, one day I was like, you know what? Today I'm gonna be aggressive. And today I'm going to be way more aggressive. And I told myself how I was going to be aggressive. I was like, listen, I just spoke into existence. I said, listen, I'm be aggressive. If I'm bringing the ball up, I'm going to pass the ball. If I get the ball back, I'm looking to score automatically. And I was like, if someone else brings the ball up and they pass it to me, not the first play, but if it's the second play and up, they pass it to me, I'm going to look to score. Like I'm going to look to shoot. If I'm open, I'm shooting it. And it was like, that's what I taught myself. And I literally told myself, and then the next time I did it. And I just made more shots. And I was like, yeah, I knew my shot was getting better because I was literally practicing every single day. But it was like a confidence thing. I wasn't being aggressive. Now, Why do I struggle with this confidence? We were kind of talking about this idea that he said whenever he trains people in high school that are already in high school, they end up making varsity but sitting the bench in varsity. And then they take a longer time to bloom. But then whenever he gets someone on like if he gets somebody on like in middle school, they end up going on varsity, starting varsity, and literally being like way more aggressive. And I was telling him, I'm like, listen, it's the idea that children don't really sense danger. This is something one of my boxing coaches told me, right? He was like, it's harder to teach grown men to box because they have an ego problem. They just want to go in there and swing. They don't really listen. They're not really trying to stick to the basics. That's why he likes teaching women better. But also he was saying kids are even the best because they really don't sense danger. They always just out there just to have fun, just to move around. That's why he likes doing those. He would have like certain drills just strictly on Sunday with just one-on-one, because he likes you to know that you're not in danger. You're not in any danger. And literally just sense that. And when you sense that and you get better, that you're not having no danger, you're having fun, that's when you learn the best. And that's why children pick up on things so much faster. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be like successful athlete or successful sports person if you're a late bloomer. There was Earl Spence Jr. You know what I mean? He started at 15. That's high school. But I am saying though, it is like, it's rare. Like you really have to, like I said, it's really rare to have that. And you really have to turn that switch on and realize that you're not in any sense of danger and get rid of the idea of fear. And that's what I did last time. Like I said, the result was easy. I decided, I'm going to be more aggressive. I was more aggressive. I started scoring a lot more. Easy. But I want to talk about why that is though. Why do you think that, it is that you're scared or you're fearful to actually, make progress in your sports and stuff like that? It's because, and it's not even just sports, it's also with, money and stuff like that, but it's because of education. Education is the problem. Education stops you from reaching your full potential. Because you think about it, kids, when they're younger, they're not fearful and they have a care in the world. They're not scared of dogs. They're not scared of cats. They're not scared of heights. They're not scared of pretty much anything until life basically educates them to kind of be scared of those things. Right? Let me get you the definition of education from the 1826 dictionary, Webster Dictionary. 1826 or 1886? One of the 1826, I think. It says education, and I'm going to read it right off the paper right here for you guys. Comprehends all that series of instruction and discipline which is intended to enlighten the understanding, correct the temper, inform the manners and habits of youth, and fit them for usefulness in their future stations. First of all, it sounds like slavery. Secondly, though, comprehend. So, comprehend. So let's learn all that series of instruction, discipline, self-love, which is intended to enlighten the understanding, which is agreement, just to get them to agree, to correct their temper, correct how they are, and you use correct exactly, which is funny because prisons are called correction facilities anyway, and there's a lot of connection between prisons and schools. I ain't gonna get into that much on this, but form the manners of habits of youth. And it doesn't mention anything about moving the mind at all. And habits of youth, that specifically on the youth, they are trying to make the youth, they're trying to correct them, they're trying to get them to agree that this is the way things are and fit them for usefulness in their future stations or jobs, right? Jobs. I'm telling you, it literally sounds like slavery. They're literally enslaving you with education. This is where they create fear, which is fear is just an imagination creating the worst case scenario. So literally, this is why teenagers and up there, it's a little bit harder for them to pick up on sports because they were educated, or pick up on different things because they were educated. That's why most entrepreneurs take 7 to 10 years, because most of your life you were educated that getting a job, working 9 to 5 is the correct way to do things. It's just slavery for real. It conditions you for this stuff. Now, when people are doing this stuff, they don't end up doing anything extraordinary. They end up only being ordinary or average. Now, let me get you what you really want. You want edification. Now, let me read the definition of edification. A building up in a moral, religious sense, instruction, improvement and progress of the mind in knowledge and morals, or in faith and holiness. Edification. Edification is what you want. Edification is when you're trying to grow your mind, you're trying to create more grooves on your brain. Remember, every groove you have on your brain is just you learning something new. You want more of that stuff. Remember, this is what you want, edification. because education is going to stop you back. And the reason why it says entrepreneurs take 7 to 10 years to be successful is because they have to edify their mind after being educated for what? 18, 20 years they were educated. Now they're on their own, being an entrepreneur. It's going to take at least half that time for them to realize that they need edification and realizing that education is actually setting them back. Man, this is just some food for thought for y'all today. This is why. So start giving yourself edification. So if you really want to get out, this is what I'm gonna leave you with. You want to really get out of that slump, you have to first, for one, if you really want to get out of that slump, you gotta first start telling yourself that it's possible. Like literally make the commitment before you do it. Like, yo, I'm gonna be aggressive, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Make the commitment. Get it all out your system. The first shot I shot, I think, was an air ball. And then I was like, all right, cool. I didn't say nothing about it. Didn't look at nobody. And the next shot, boom, cash out. Made 3 straight. Like literally just make that commitment to yourself before you play or before you do anything. Make a commitment to be aggressive. Always be aggressive. Aggressiveness will always be taken over what looks better. All right. And then remember, you want edification, not education for your children. All right. So that's really what I wanted to throw out there for you guys. Keep killing a day. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna have a couple more episodes. So I'm gonna have a few more. Few of my next episodes are actually gonna be some me and one of my guys coming on here. We're gonna be talking about different topics and stuff like that. So stay tuned for all that though. But what do you think? Are you receiving edification or education right now? All right, man. Y'all kill it today, and just remember, you pray for marketing like this. Copy God out.